Still starting. All right. So hi everyone. Welcome to SSW TimePro sprint summary for sprint 355. And for this sprint, we actually made a lot of progress. So I will do from here. We had two sprint goals from last sprint. The first one is to push on the on-billing epic. We are going to add the webhook functionality to TimePro, and this is done. Including the UI part, even though the goal itself was backend logic, but like in the PBI, we in the backlog, we also finished the UI as well. So everything needed on the TimePro side for on-billing is done in the past sprint. And then the other one, we have a bug to fix for the zero sync with TimePro, and that one was first done by Jeffrey and then hand over to Jim, and this is also done. Now we could previously we had some issue with dev connecting to zero locally, and then we are also missing like warnings on the production side in case like people have like wrong configuration for zero, and that is all improved this sprint as well. So the past sprint was a 2-week sprint. We start with 1 week planning, but then turns out we have holidays and people are on client work and stuff, and no one could show up last Friday for a sprint review. So we decided to extend it for one more week, sorry. So that's why we start our capacity estimated at 40, but then it actually goes up to 65. And this is the actual timesheet recorded for the past sprint. Going down to the sprint backlog. So there's something that we want to demo. The first one is the zero sync configuration. Jim, do you want to take over and show what that's about?
Yeah, sure. So the improvements made are in the admin zero page. So if I connect to zero. So for the record, this is on staging, and I'm connecting to my zero dev account. Okay, now so I'm connecting to zero, and you can see one of the field here, prepaid account, is required to be different from sales account. So previously, we didn't have this warning. We didn't have any form of warning. So people are easy to forget to change the setting. So now we have this warning to require checking with an accountant. And the other improvement we made on user experience is when we delete the zero configuration for any reason, we have this confirm dialog. So on this dialog, we can optionally copy the configuration, and we can reuse the configuration, as you can see here on my clipboard, to reuse on the next configuration. So finally, we can safely delete. So with these two improvements, we made this zero configuration change more safe. Yeah, that's all for me.
Sorry, Jim. What were the two improvements?
Share my screen again. So the first one is when we initially connecting to zero, we will have this warning banner here, asking the user to check with an accountant to get the actual ledgers, which is the one here particularly. And yeah, the other improvement is the delete dialog, which we didn't have before.
What did it do before with delete?
So it just delete directly.
Oh, without warning you.
Without confirming, yeah.
Oh,
and
sorry.
We'll lose the account settings.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you should never be able to press delete without confirming.
Yeah. So yeah, for the record, this is these two are just purely UI improvements, and we have another PBI to fix the incorrect zero journals.
Right. I'm not certain about this, but see the warning that you have there in orange. I think you would put the check with an accountant on a fresh line. So maybe I'm wrong about that. But this is the default value for ledgers. New line, check with the accountant to get actual ledgers. It's slightly more readable, but maybe it's fine as it is.
Okay.
All right, I will retake the screen share. And also just to mention, this is all the UI improvement. Jim also fixed the zero scope issue for us. So now we are able to connect to zero, but previously we have invalid scope because they changed the scope on their APIs. And so no one was able to connect to zero locally. So that was
Sorry,
also
are you
fixed.
saying that Zero changed their APIs and broke TimePro?
Yeah, so like if you are connecting to Zero as a new dev account, that's affected, but you already have something working. Like that's why our production doesn't break when they did that. Yeah, but it breaks everyone who's developing, like our local environment cannot connect to Zero.
Okay, all right, I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
They break things a few times a year.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
luckily we find it out.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so I will retake the screen share. The second one that we want to demo is the webhook functionality. This is big progress on the on billing epic. I will also demo from the staging environment. So previously we only allow one like single webhook and it only connects to single scope. So you have no way to configure this to any other events. But now you are able to add multiple subscribers and you can add it, like say this is a subscriber that already prepared. You could tick the events that you want to subscribe to. So for now, I have like timesheet creation and timesheet deletion. And I will enable this webhook and I will put a webhook testing site just for demo purpose here. So this is the listener to our events. So I will save this. And now this is a active webhook subscriber. And now if I go back to create a new timesheet, so I will just put test webhook and hit add. Okay, as soon as this is done, we can check that the listener received the payload of what is created in TimePro. So this is very flexible. It could not only serve the own billing epic, but if you have like AI agent somewhere else you want to listen to like the TimePro events, you can do that as well. So yeah, that's that. I will turn off the webhook because I don't want people to constantly send to a, I don't know, place webhook endpoint. So let me do that and turn this off. Yeah, but like you can play around with this on the staging environment if you want. That's
Right.
the webhook part.
That webhook stuff, I understand you understand how it works well, but I can imagine developers trying to, or configurators of TimePro trying to use this and setting it up would need some help. So on this heading here, webhook with the the description there, I think you should put a link to the documentation page on webhooks. And on that page, ideally have a video of you just explaining the webhooks.
Okay, so I will make a doc video as well as a doc.
Yes.
For
and
web.
link to it there.
Okay, sure. Doc. Okay, noted. So that's that part. And then another one. So I will give Sam also a chance to demo his deliverable this sprint. So Sam, you want to take over and show the skeleton loading?
Cool. So yeah, triple whammy this time. So I'll make this one quick. But this is to show off a new UI feature that actually Adam yourself suggested. So we're talking about skeleton UIs here. So this is an example of a skeleton UI. It's the kind of thing you see on many websites where as it's loading, it kind of blocks out the UI. You might have seen as Sylvia was going through that the skeleton UI was going, but it was too quick. You probably didn't notice. So
I didn't notice.
No, I've got developer tools up here and I've throttled it. So this is to emulate a slower internet connection. And if I go back here, you'll see that it blocks out the sections. So this timesheet section, the gamification section, and where the blogs would be. It's staging, so there's no blogs. But yeah, it's as simple as that, but it's a nice way of having the UI look a little bit more intentional. And now we can repeat the same pattern elsewhere in TimePro if we wish.
That's beautiful.
Cool.
That's very good.
Looks great.
Have you updated the skeleton rule?
I have not yet, so that's just
Okay.
been developed, and that's
Okay.
that's next on the menu.
In the perfect world, it'd be great if you could just show how you implemented it, and then it's there in TimePro, and put it on the TimePro channel, and then in the or you could make it on the SSW channel, and then embed it on the rule.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, so that's the 3 major demos that we want to show you. Anything else you want to see from the Sprint backlog?
I would like to ask you a question. I heard that somebody created a drama by getting their timesheets in the system without any GST. Did anyone on this team hear about that?
Yes.
Okay, so 2 people heard about it. Only Sylvia and Michael. There's nobody else? Jim?
No,
Tom?
I heard about it. Yep.
Okay, so 3 people heard about it. Michael, Sam, and Sylvia, not Jim. Now, Sylvia, what did you think when you heard about it?
I thought that was a wrong template at the beginning because I observed that. I saw Michael had problem allocating timesheet with those 0 GSTs. So, but I thought that was just like a one-time putting the wrong text and then probably that get populated in the future timesheets. But I
Okay.
think quickly after that, it turns out to be not the case.
What does it turn out to be, Sylvia?
I heard it's because there's it's done by AI through the TimePro API.
Yeah. Okay. So I definitely think it's serious enough that you guys should have let me know. But this is what I heard about at lunchtime, that a certain rogue developer in Melbourne, we will not mention his name, but anyway, Hajir has set up OpenClaw, and he is trying to be very clever and getting his timesheets entered automatically. Fantastic. It goes and uses the TimePro APIs. Ideally, TimePro would have an MCP that it uses, and we should have that and do that. But if OpenClaw is calling the APIs and that does not have the validation that that makes sure that it doesn't go through without GST, then we've got problems. We've got problems that are not good. Somebody has put the logic in the front end, I'm going to guess. So there is business logic in the front end of TimePro. That is, if that's true, that's very bad. And I'm certainly scared about this. I originally wrote TimePro and I put everything in stored procedures. There was no business logic in the front. So somebody has ripped that out, had intention to put it in C#, but somehow put it in the front end. We need to investigate that and fix it and sort that out. So that would be awesome. Okay, so let's get that fixed so nobody can ever enter a timesheet without GST.
By the way, on API, it's already fixed.
On what?
On API, it's already fixed.
What's API?
On the back end, it's already fixed.
Oh, the API.
It's already fixed.
It's already fixed. When did it get fixed? After lunch?
Last week.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe it is fixed and I don't know about it. All right.
Do you still
Okay,
want like a front end fix as well? Or back end is sufficient?
Yeah, I'd like to understand this. I would like to know, yes, it was logic in the front end. This is how it happened. And yeah, and we should be taking this type of stuff a little more seriously if the API is not complete and if the front end has logic. That's front end should be as dumb as possible.
Okay.
Yeah. Most of the stuff is very defensive on the back end, but there are some gaps. And that's why it happened, because that was that gap.
Okay. All right.
All right. We could continue.
Yes,
Anything
let's go.
else you want to know about the other PBIs, or we could?
No, but just a small thing. When you have dones, you want to claim your brownie points. There's a lot of dones there, but I would always put the little
Oh,
green
yes.
ticks. And the other thing is you want to be trying to get as many things done using AI completely from beginning to end. And when you are successfully completing a PBI, vibe coded without any of your coding skills, you should add that little robot emoji to say these ones automatically got done.
Okay, sounds good. We'll do that for the next review.
I think you should do it before pressing send on this later. But did any items get completely done by vibe coding?
Does that include like minor fix manually?
No, if you had to use your coding skills, you don't get the robot emoji.
Okay. We could go quickly through these, but like Jeffrey done some of those. He's on leave today, so we won't be able to decide for him.
Yeah, just the ones you know about.
Okay, so first one, Jim.
Oh, could I just suggest we shortcut this and just say if anyone's done one, we should call it out. I can say I
sure.
didn't. I made tweaks to all of mine.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So
Jim, did you do any?
You mean vibe coding?
Yeah, I think the way Sam explained it just then was very good. He used AI for all of them, but at the end he made minor tweaks, so he didn't 100% vibe code it.
I did for one of the in progress ones in the bottom, but not the first one I completed because that's
Yeah, we only
But
want to
part
know
of-
the
part
ones
of
you
it.
actually did.
yeah, I guess the answer is no.
Well, part of it is especially the front end stuff I vibe coded, but not back end.
Did you 100% vibe code it without any of your coding skills?
Say that again. I didn't get the question. Sorry.
All right, we've been through this a couple of times, but we're trying to establish whether you were able to vibe code it completely without using your coding skills to make minor tweaks.
Okay. Without using my coding skills?
Yeah, an example would be like Callum, from what I've heard, will just mark a PBI for, hey, AI, go and try and fix this by itself. He won't touch any of the code. He just reviews it at the end, I guess. And if
he does
didn't
make
have
changes, but he uses vibe coding to make the changes to get it to where he wants it.
Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I still wouldn't qualify for that, but yeah.
I feel like that's what vibe coding means. Like not coding
Well,
yourself.
I think most people will vibe code, will give it an attempt, and then it nearly gets there, and then they make some other changes.
Gordon and I have a new piece of language we're calling agentic engineering.
That's exactly what I wanted to say.
Okay.
It's not quite vibe coding. You actually review the code and guide the AI.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't think I've done like pure vibe coding for any of mine, so I won't label any of those.
So look, what I do is just put an item in the next backlog just to chat about agentic engineering so that you're all aligned. You can answer a question like this, very simple. You can call up JK and Gordon to get more information on how they do it. And then we're all in sync on how we talk about this.
Okay, so you want a PBI in next sprint?
Yes. So you've talked about it, you've discussed it, you're all good.
Okay, sounds good. So we could continue on the review here. So the suggested timesheet usage and automatic timesheet usage, the number doesn't change much because we still haven't get capacity to do the GitHub integration. And then the 1% I talked to is Young this sprint, and because she worked on non-standard work hour, but then we only suggest for like 8 hours of like day work, so she's not able to use it anyway. That's why she's not using it. And then the burn down chart, we did one production deployment near the end of the sprint. That's why we are able to close most of our PBIs around here. And
isn't that a little unusual to do one deployment in an entire sprint? Shouldn't you be doing them as you finish a feature?
I think this is because we have a long holiday in the middle of the 2-week sprint. Yeah,
Okay.
and then people are leaving, coming back. That's why it happens. Normally we have more than one production deployment.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so that's that. And then talking about the code coverage, this sprint we actually add 40 more unit tests to our backend because of the webhook feature. And
that's who's doing that?
I did that as part of my pull request.
Okay, and what are they end unit tests or any playwright tests?
Yes, the end unit test.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and also as a result, our branch coverage increased by 1% this sprint. Small but progress. Talking about the pipeline health, these are all good. This last one is just one pipeline failure on the GEMS pull request. It's nothing like in the master or something. So, and that has already been fixed. The application health overview, we could see that we still have the dependency failure here, and we have brought in that one PBI to fix the remaining dependency failure into next sprint. So that number should drop a bit more next sprint, hopefully. And then the peak here, we investigate a bit as last time. Most come from the 404 crawler on TimePro. And then there's another one is related to our SQL conflicts. So that will be a bug to fix.
Right. Now look at the application map on the right. There is not meant to be all this red. So that might be something you guys could look at.
Okay, noted.
But it's not healthy.
Okay.
It could be alt Azure DevOps connections.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, sure. So the state of Apex, we kind of brought it up a bit earlier, but we made a huge progress on the cross-billing. We could tell that last sprint it was at 44%, and this sprint the progress bar is already at 56. So that's 12% of progress done in the past 2 weeks. And then, if no questions so far, we will go into the AI usage. Okay, so I will hand over to Sam to do the AI stats.
Cool. Yeah, so just talking about what tools we used. So just to preface that when we're talking about the percentages, when we weren't actually, it's an interesting definition. Is that percentage the amount of literal code that's written, and then the rest is the amount of code we've written, or are we taking into account the amount of extra work we do where we're talking to other team members, like all the other administration work that has to go on when you're developing.
I think the number is the amount of time you're spending vibe coding versus real coding. That's really what it's, those, just contrasting those two.
Cool. Yeah. Well, that number might jump up a little bit then if it's just talking about code. We were taking into account, extra work as well. But yeah, going through it now, Jeffrey, so 80%, Cursor with Composer 2, Opus 4.6, Yak Shaver, of course, not hitting limits, 75%, Sonnet 4.6 mainly for me, also not hitting limits.
Why are you using Opus 4.7?
I think I'm not sure actually. I didn't adjust that. I might be automatically. I think just use the automatic configuration.
I think you should do one PBI with Sonnet and one with Opus 4.7 and compare. And I think you'll find most people will say 4.7 is way smarter at getting PBIs completed.
It can be overkill for a lot of tasks, especially if you're doing like pair programming a lot. Considering it's quite expensive, Adam, so that would mean people will hit their limits a lot quicker.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, especially Copilot.
Yeah, I just think it's important to try both so that Sam is
agreed.
has an opinion.
It'd be worth having an understanding of the different tools then. So yeah, I'll have a look at that. And then yeah, we've got a very similar situation with Sylvia there, and Jim as well. Hitting limits though, we can say. And
Sylvia,
also at the end there, Claude
sure?
Design.
Sylvia, are you sure that you're using 4.6? It hasn't moved to 4.7?
4.7 is, I think, 7 times the token usage, whereas
No,
4.6
I'm
is
asking,
like 3 times.
have you switched it back manually to 4.6, or are you?
Yes,
Oh,
I
you
switched.
have.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thanks. That helps. Yep.
I think now it's 15x, so it just burns through your subscription in a day.
Yeah, I just thought it might. She might have it wrong, but obviously she said it.
Cool. All right, so we're going to go to the Claude stats now.
Sorry,
cool.
so Jim has really used Claude Design for what?
That was a mistake. I didn't use design for the past 2 weeks, but just the week before.
Oh, I see.
That's
Okay.
left over from last spring. Yeah. Yeah, you can safely remove it.
All right, so I'm now sharing my screen for the overall summary, and we got a B- grade for the meeting score, which I think is okay. In general, I found that this overview was had less surprises in it and less oddities. So the review is actually quite stable and pretty straight down the line. It noted all of the things we did and the next steps pretty accurately. The timeline, the one thing it did pick up that we probably didn't agree with is that it thought that this AI productivity discussion that we had, which is about 7 minutes long, it thought that that was a waste and we should reschedule that discussion. But we often use the preview meetings for this to discuss those sort of things as a team. But it's fair that it noted that that conversation was took some time and wasn't strictly sprint review related. We've got a review of all the team members and everyone getting pretty decent results. I noticed that it specifically said that I overqualify certain statements, and I would anecdotally agree with that. But I just thought that that was an interesting observation for a review to make. And then, yeah, other than that, it had pretty good judgments of the rest of the team. Yeah, elephants in the room. It thought that I was a single point of failure for the zero integration, but I think Sylvia was explaining the exact opposite. So we were curious about how it got that judgment wrong, but at least knew the topic we were talking about. Apart from that, yeah, it hit many of the points that were important. A productivity discussion, it had a good assessment of that, and the GitHub integration issue. It notified that that was a bit of a zombie issue. So yeah, that's about it. And yeah, Sylvia, I'd probably give that a tick. I thought it was a relatively accurate overall review.
Okay, sounds good. So I will put a green tick here. And then going down to Copilot stats. This is the speaking summary. So that should be accurate. And then it mentioned the main issue completed from the Copilot. It says what was the main issue completed to be brief, and it says on building webhook backend logic, which is I also think it's accurate. So put a green tick here. Yep. So going down to Yakshay usage, our Yakshay ratio dropped around like 10% comparing to last sprint, but I think that's because we have refined most of the PBIs with the Yakshaver. But then, like when we come to break down PBIs, like break down data task, we kind of manually did that. That's why the ratio drops. And any questions so far?
When you say break them down, do you say make more PBIs?
Yes, like we want to chunk the work. Like for example, Jim's zero sync connection issue, like we end up chunking it with the UI fix, the backend fix, and then there's like a data fix.
Okay, I understand. You can delete the percentage decimal places. I don't think it adds to it. Just delete the 0.2.
Okay. Yep. Sounds good. So I will hand over the retro part to Tom.
Okay, thanks, Sylvia. So for the retro part, what went well in the last sprint is that we complete all the sprint goals and we make big progress on the onboarding part, which is from me. And also Sam said Tom is returning, which is me, and I'm returning from Fudan. And the Fudan's project is on pause for like 2 months, maybe, or longer. I'm not sure what Dr. Ma is thinking about his project, but I will be returning on TimePro for like 3 days a week, maybe. So that means we have a lot more capacity on TimePro and we can continue on progress on the on billing part. And Jim said we have Jim said we have a lot of downs, and PO, which is Michael, is very happy. Okay, and then we go to what didn't go so well part. As Sylvia said, we have a holiday, which is a Labor Day in China, so it interrupts the progress we make in the TimePro, and it reduced the delivery effort points. And we also had Sylvia also said we should have a sprint backlog refinement about on billing before we run out of the PBIs. Because it seems like we have a lot of downs, a lot of PBI in the last spring, and we forgot that we should do the backlog refinement in advance to avoid that we are running out of the PBIs. So comes to the improvement part, we should definitely keep an eye on the remaining PBIs, and we should do the backlog refinement in advance. Okay. Do you guys have anything to contribute? Adam, do you have any questions?
No, let's keep it moving.
Okay,
All
cool.
right. So going to the forecast. Jim, do you want to do the forecast email?
Sure. So could you scroll down a little? Oh, right. Yeah, that's spring goals. Okay. The good news is after a long time, we will move our focus back to the unbilled feature. So our spring goal for the next spring is the 2 PBIs for the unbilled feature. And next spring will be a 1-week spring. And if you scroll down to the backlog, apart from the in progress ones we moved across, we have 2 new PBIs on the top, which are our spring goals. So if you could bold those 2.
Yep. Sorry,
yeah, thanks.
I always forgot about that part.
Right. Okay, so the first one is a backlog refinement. We believe we need to gather and discuss the unbilled PBIs because they are quite long ago, and we need to refresh the status. And the second one is the Azure function, which is part of the core component of the whole feature. Yeah, and that forms our backlog for the next sprint. Do you have any questions, Adam?
No, but see the done video how to set up a webhook. Did you already add that, Sylvia? Well,
yeah, while we were talking, I just add these 2 in. Like one is to have a conversation for the vibe coding, and the other one is.
You're so fast. Okay, great.
Thank you. And yeah, so the last part, Jim, do you want to continue?
Yeah, the next main action point to do is to implement the Azure functions to handle the webhook payloads for unbilled feature.
And you think
yeah, that is precisely correct.
Okay. And that's the end of the forecast. Any question on the spring goals or the PBIs that we plan to do?
Yeah, awesome.
All good. Anything else anyone wants to add? If not, you can check out this meeting on our YouTube channel. And thanks everyone for joining.
Thanks, Sylvia. Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good weekend.